Yo, what's up, Taco fam? All right, so in the community post, we talked about this. You guys wanted to see a branded deck with more engine, so let's get into it. I'm gonna run through this pretty quick because not too much need to be explained. The stuff that does, I will explain. So your best normal summon, going first and going second. You need 3 Albaz, non-negotiable, especially with a lot of the cards in your deck, and it's not bad. Like I said, going second. It's like one of the best board breakers this deck has. 2 Cartesia and Quim. We need these a little bit more, and I actually still like this ratio. For the weird part, so we're playing 1 Shrouded Dragon and 1 Kit. Kit's good for getting some of the bad cards out of your hand, and is an extender as well. And then for the weird part, I'm playing 3 Macarrier. So I'm not playing Allure, which already can be a red flag, but hear me out. This is actually not super bad with the amount of ways that you can fusion summon on turn 1 into an Albaz fusion. This protects you from hand traps. And whenever it gets banished, like off of some of the next cards you'll see, which will Bystials, which will be them, this is actually good for searching any of those engine cards I just showed you right here. And Bystials. Play 5, not 6, because I don't think you necessarily need a 6 one. But 5 is a good number, like based off numbers, to at least draw one of them. Statistically, but you know, sometimes numbers don't matter. And then for the spells, Fusion, Opening, and Servant. I feel like these ratios don't change for me, and I actually like what they all do for the deck. Obviously, Fusion is the best card. Opening is a good starter and extender. And then Nadir Servant allows you to keep playing when you do get hand trapped, and at least sets up a follow-up play. Super Poly. This is a busted card. We all know. Going second, this card's insane. It can help OTK, and the fact that even if you draw bad, you can discard some of the bad cards out of your hand to like set up your graveyard. Because that's what this version's mainly about. Is setting up your grave and playing the protect game. And if not, you set up a crazy board if you don't get interrupted. I'm playing 2 High Spirits. That's why you saw I wasn't playing Deployment, because I don't think you need Deployment as much if you play a card like High Spirits, only because this does the same thing as Deployment, pretty much, for the most part, without the restriction of, you know, locking you into fusions. And we're only playing 2 because you don't want to draw too many of these, and it's not a bad starter, and it's good for triggering Quim and chain blocking a lot of cards too whenever you do use Quim. And then for the 1-ofs, playing 1 white, Lost, and Regain. We're playing these 2. This card seems subpar a lot of the time, but the fact that your opponent can't respond is what keeps it in the deck. Regain is good because we're playing more Bystials, and you get random draws. So if you board into hand traps, it's not bad. And against SP Little Knight. And then I'm playing 1 red. Almost wanted to play 2, but I decided to put Light of the Brandon in. Because this is another quick play card that you can search that's versatile, that you can get off of Luber, that can actually help you. So whenever you start setting up your grave, this gives you another defensive option, and so does this. Because both of these are basically fusion cards, sort of, kind of. This is like a Reborn and a Disruption. And of course, we all know this is a Disruption. The fact that you could put back any fusion monster from the field or either grave is actually pretty good. Just to Reborn an Albaz and give them a monster that you could fuse to whatever you need sounds pretty good to me. And the 2 traps. First off, these 2 are bricks, but you need to play them. They're kind of like injury requirements, especially with Retribution. This card stays in my hand. And Beast is not the worst whenever you play it in this sort of deck with more Bystials, but it's not bad just having a pop. And it's good in tandem with this, with Regain, as we all know. because Soranir and Albion are pretty good to send either of these, whichever one you need, pretty much. And that's it for the main. That's 40. Then the extra deck I'm gonna run through quick. Not much has changed. Y'all know how I feel about these 5. They're all really good. Sometimes I just want to play a third Jade just because I like the card, but don't do that. These 2 don't really change for me. Sanctifier is actually a lot better in this version because, like I said, you're going to be abusing stuff like Mercarier in this version. So even reviving Mercarier during your opponent's turn, if you hard draw it too much after you've already used it on your turn, is actually pretty good. And because my local area loves dragon cards, I play this. And sometimes this actually comes up to hard summon for your own combos. And then for the last, Albaz Fusions. You could potentially actually summon these in this version. It's a little bit more likely that you would, but we still just kind of just send them to the grave and use them when we need them. Dust Dragon. So this is the only change I want to make. I'm not sure yet, but a second Dust Dragon could come up. And I see it come up a lot, especially with playing cards like High Spirits. And it's still pretty good. And it gets your engine rolling if you don't really have much. And then for the more super poly-ish type cards, so these are the most generic super poly targets that I could think of to play. And Masquerade's actually really good. Because sometimes Aluber, if he gets hand trapped and you have super poly when you go in second, you can kind of dodge it. And sometimes you just kind of want to have a generic fusion monster that's in theme that you can summon. And this is not bad for pressuring your opponent. Every time they use a card, they have to pay 600. So, and then the last 2 cards is Chimera and Lulu. This rarely gets summoned, but it's mainly off red. And you could actually do it with white, so you could be a little bit more proactive, going second as well. And Lulu, sometimes we hard summon it, and it does come up. The fact that it can non-target negate something and boost all your guys by 5 is actually really good. So that's it for the profile, guys. Let me know what y'all think. It's branded. It's only but so much you could do to the deck. But it's very fun. You could try it at locals if you want. Maybe even a regional, depending on how long you've been playing this deck. But Snake Eye profile coming up next. I didn't forget about y'all. Leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.